Gold has been one of the best performing investments over the past few years, where the most popular gold ETF in the market has grown over 140% from the past 5 years, which is roughly double the return of the S&P 500 through the most popular option that comes from Vanguard, that is VOO. And I have to say, the nice thing about adding gold to your portfolio is that it helps diversify your investments outside of having traditional stocks and bonds, while still offering the potential of a strong return on your investment over time. Now, of course, you could just buy physical gold yourself, but that requires a safe place to store it, insurance, and overall trying to buy and sell physical gold, especially as a beginner, it can be a hassle. So that is exactly where gold ETFs come into play, because you can get instant exposure to track the price of gold through any investment account that you have, whether that be a normal taxable brokerage account or an IRA, where you could buy them just like you would with any other ETF or ordinary stock. But the thing here is that not all gold ETFs are created the same. Some are designed for active traders, some are designed to keep costs as low as possible, and others that I'll mention one of them in this video invest into gold mining companies, which is completely different from tracking the price of physical gold itself. And so because of that, I'm about to break down 5 of the best gold ETFs available today, what makes each one different, and which one is my number one pick and why. But before we get started, my name is Sully. I run the company InvestLane, where our mission is to help others learn how to save and invest wisely to build lasting wealth. And all I ask is that if you do find value from this video, that you consider hitting the like, subscribe, and notifications button for future content like this. With that said, to get straight to it, the first ETF to mention here is the largest and most popular gold ETF in the market that is best for active traders, and this pick goes to the Spider Gold Shares ETF that is the ticker of GLD. Now, to sum up this fund, the investment objective for State Street's gold ETF GLD is for the shares to reflect the performance of the price of gold bullion subtracted by the fund's expenses. Which, a fun fact for you is that this ETF is the first US traded gold ETF and the first US listed ETF backed by a physical asset. And for those new, CBS News explained it simply that the term bullion refers to precious metals in their purest forms, and that gold bullion is physical gold bars or coins made primarily for investment purposes, and their prices are based on current market gold prices and their weight and purity. But knowing that, as far as the ETFs mentioned in this video, just know that the order for each is going to be based off of their net asset, which is also known as the assets under its management by the specific issuer, and that could also be short for AUM. And so just looking at the key data points for GLD, you can see that this fund is by far the largest physical gold ETF on the list that has about $140 billion in net assets. The fund has also been around since November of 2004, which makes it the oldest and most established gold ETF in the US. Now, one of the biggest disadvantages about GLD is its expense ratio, where GLD's is 0.4%, which means for every $10,000 that you invest, it would cost you $40 per year in fees, which actually makes it the most expensive physical gold ETF that I'm showing you in this video. But on the other end of that, because of its popularity, its biggest advantage is liquidity. You see, GLD currently averages around 7.2 million shares traded per day, which is the highest of all the physical gold ETFs that I'm mentioning in this video, and its 30-day median bid-ask spread is only 0.01%, which means the cost of getting in and out of the fund would be extremely small. This is extremely important to understand because if you're an active trader, you may care much more about how efficiently you can enter and exit a trade rather than the annual expense to hold on to it long. But knowing that, if we look historically, GLD has performed very closely with the price of gold, returning about 28.6% over the past year as of August 10th of 2026, where its average annual return over the past 3 years has been 31.36%, the 5-year average was about 20%, and over the past 20 years, it averaged 12.09% annually. And of course, the past performance does not guarantee anything in the future. But if your main priority is liquidity and active trading, GLD is arguably the best gold ETF to consider, but there is one other top alternative that is very similar to this that's going to lead me into the second ETF on this list, that is the lower cost alternative known as the iShares Gold Trust ETF, IAU. Now, just like GLD, IAU is designed to provide exposure to the physical price of gold, where just 2 months after GLD, iShares launched this competing fund that was in January of 2005. All in all, a big difference here is that IAU has a lower expense ratio of 0.25% compared to GLD's that is 0.4. And realize that if you're holding this type of ETF for years or even decades, that difference in fees can significantly add up over time, which is why if you're a long-term investor specifically, you need to keep watching to the end of this video. But to point out some of the key data points, IAU has about $63 billion in net assets, making it the second largest physical gold ETF that's on this list. It also has around 6 million shares traded per day, so even though it doesn't have quite the same volume as GLD, it's still an extremely liquid ETF. Its 30-day bid-ask spread is also about 0.01%. There's been no dividend payout, and historically, because it tracks the same underlying index, the performance has been extremely close to GLD. So over the past year, IAU returned about 28.8%, its 3-year average was 31.55%, its 5-year average was 21.17%, and its 10-year average was 12.25%. And you'll also notice that IAU has actually slightly outperformed GLD over these periods, which makes sense over the long term when you're looking at funds that essentially are tracking the same asset, but this one has a slightly lower annual expense. So in the end, if you still want to trade gold but don't necessarily need the highest potential trading volume, IAU is still a very solid option to consider that is a lower cost alternative to GLD. But speaking of lower cost, let's now go into the third ETF that is best for long-term investors, which is coming from the Spider Gold Mini Shares ETF, GLDM. Now this fund is really intriguing, at least to me, because it pretty much is the exact same as the fund GLD, but now packages it in to a much cheaper long-term alternative if you are to hold on to it long. You see, GLDM also holds physical gold, and it's designed to track the performance of the gold bullion, but as of more recently in 2018, State Street launched this fund to be structured where instead of charging GLD's 0.4% expense ratio, GLDM charges only 0.1%. That's a huge difference when you're talking about holding an investment for many years and even decades. In fact, if you started with a $1,000 investment and invested $200 per month into gold throughout your career, and let's just say that you average 10% per year just to keep things simple, then if you did this from investing into GLDM at that 0.10%, you would end up with a total value of $1,077,000. And with that, your total fees in the end throughout that time would have cost you $30,000, which may sound like a lot, but this is the lower cost option. You see, if we switch that to GLD that has a 0.4% expense ratio, your end value would be just under $1 million because your total fees would have ended up being $115,000 instead. In the end, that simple investing approach into gold by typing in one more letter into the ticker symbol when you go to buy it throughout your entire career, that could easily end up saving, or you could say making, you $85,000 more. Which, if you didn't know, this concept is very similar to the NASDAQ 100 QQQ and the long-term option that is QQQM, or the popular S&P 500 ETF SPY, or the longer-term low-cost option SPYM that I've created a ton of content on already. Because of that, I have to say that if you are finding value in this video, to consider hitting the like, subscribe, and notifications button for future content like this. And while you're at it, I will mention that I've created an entire free index fund cheat sheet that shows all the top investments in the market all in one place. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to have a direct link in the description below for you. But as far as GLDM, also know that this fund is the third largest gold ETF that has about $29 billion in net assets and averages around 3.8 million shares traded per day, which is lower than GLD, but it still provides a solid amount of liquidity for the average long-term investor. Not to mention, but its 30-day bid-ask spread is also around 0.01%, so you're still getting a competitive trading cost. And if we look over the past year, GLDM returned about 28.99%, its 3-year average was 31.74%, its 5-year average was 20.34%, but we don't have enough of a 10-year record to look back at since the fund launched in 2018. In the end, if you're looking at gold as a long-term investment rather than trying to constantly trade it, GLDM is a very attractive option. But before I mention one other alternative, the next ETF on this list is toward gold mining companies rather than physical gold, and that is through the Van Eck Gold Miners ETF, GDX. This one is important to understand because GDX is not a physical gold ETF, but instead the fund is intended to track the overall performance of companies involved in the gold mining industry, where this fund is the nation's first gold miners ETF that contains a portfolio of the largest gold mining companies. So when you buy GDX, you're not directly buying gold, you're buying a basket of gold companies whose profits can be heavily influenced by the price of gold. That right there is a very important distinction to realize because gold mining companies, they have operating costs, debt, management decisions, geopolitical risk, and other factors that physical gold don't have. But there's also a major potential potential advantage because gold miners can sometimes get a higher potential reward, specifically when the price of gold rises. And the reason is that if the price of gold increases, especially rapidly in a short period of time, a mining company's costs don't necessarily increase by the same amount, so their profit margins can increase significantly. And as you can see reflected in their historical numbers over the past year, GDX has returned about 56.95%, which is roughly double the return of the other physical gold ETFs that I am mentioning in this video. And so its 3-year average has been 47.54%, its 5-year average was 24.81%, but its 10-year long-term average was 12.28%, which is very similar to the other physical gold ETFs. Now, when you see those returns, especially recently, don't just assume that that's going to continue, because you also have to factor in the cons that could come from that, because there is potentially market risk to owning true equities. For example, when you buy GDX, you instantly get exposed 11% of your investment toward the Newmont Corporation, 10% toward Eagle Mines, and you can see the rest of the top holdings, or the top 10 alone in this fund, cover 59.81% of the entire weight. Which, by the way, GDX currently has a total of 66 holdings, so it's much better overall for risk purposes than just buying 1 or 2 gold mining stocks. But as far as other data points, GDX has about $28 billion in net assets, fund launched in 2006, averages around 6.8 million shares traded per day, and has a very tight 30-day bid-ask spread of 0.01%. Not to mention, but its expense ratio is 0.51%, which is higher than all 5 of the gold ETFs that I'm mentioning in this video, so for some, that may push you away from wanting to own this. And unlike physical gold ETFs, GDX also pays a dividend, where its trailing 12-month dividend yield was 0.7%. All in all, I would look at GDX a completely different way to invest into the gold industry, rather than simply tracking the price of gold from the other ETFs that I mentioned. But knowing that, the last ETF to mention here is also another low-cost option to investing directly into gold, and that is best for long-term investing. That is through the iShares Gold Trust Micro ETF, IAUM. Now, the biggest reason that this ETF stands out is that it has a lower expense ratio of 0.09%, which is just less than GLDM's, so that makes it the cheapest gold ETF on this list. So if you're simply looking at the annual cost, IAUM technically wins, but I'm going to cover shortly my number 1 pick and why. But as far as IAUM, the fund launched in June of 2021, making it the newest gold ETF that I'm covering in this video, where the fund also has about $7 billion in net assets, which is also impressive because of how recently this fund has launched, but that is still the smallest one of all the ones in this video. And to add on that, IAUM also averages about 2 million shares traded per day, with a 30-day bid-ask spread around 0.02%. But again, for a long-term investor, think of this like GLD and GLDM, where IAUM is the cheaper long-term option from IAU. And if we look over the past year, IAUM returned about 29.06%, its 3-year average was 31.79%, and its 5-year average was 20.4%. You can see that these returns are extremely close to the other physical gold ETFs, which is what you would expect because of that lower cost, and that would be by just a slim amount, but over the long term, that can definitely add up. But knowing that, it's time to finish this off by going over my number 1 gold ETF pick and why. Alright, so my number 1 pick here goes to the State Street Gold Mini Shares ETF, GLDM. And yes, I know that IAUM technically has a lower annual expense of 0.09% compared to GLDM's, that is 0.10%, but we're only talking about 1 basis point, and to me, GLDM provides a better overall combination of size, liquidity, and State Street alone has also launched these ETFs first, where from a personal point of view, I prefer to go with State Street over BlackRock since the benefits are so close, and BlackRock already dominates the market the most. Now, if you're an active trader, I would then suggest going with GLD because of its trading volume and tight spreads and overall the strong options market that it offers. But if you are a fan of iShares, or that you want that cheapest possible option that is just by a slim margin for holding the gold fund, BlackRock's IAU and IAUM, they're still solid alternatives that you can't really go wrong with. But the most important thing of all after watching this video is to simply align which fund you choose with your goals. So to sum it up, if you want to actively trade the price of gold, I would narrow that down to GLD or IAU. Or if you want to invest for the long term into tracking the price of gold, believing that it will increase over time, I would narrow that down to choosing GLDM or IAUM. And if you then want exposure to equities through gold mining companies alone, the option here that I would say is GDX. Of course, the past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and you need to make your own financial decisions based on your own situation. But if you're interested in learning more about these ETFs and comparing them all in one place, don't forget that I'm going to have our free index fund cheat sheet linked in the description below for you. Which, while you're at it, if you want to get started with a new investing platform, whether that be a brokerage account or IRA, I'm going to have direct links below to some of the top options that you could get started with. And please know that depending on the ones that you choose to get started with, I may earn a commission for it, which is greatly appreciated. And as always, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notifications button for future content like this.